Now that we got things popping, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Shango the Don Ragga. Welcome to an all new episode of the 808 After Show. And as usual, it doesn't come without its challenges, thanks to the miracle of technology. With me today, longtime homie of mine, hip hop artist, businessman, actor, the Kama Aina Classic, my man, IA Dog. Do you know how long it's been that we've been trying to do this?
It's been a long time, but hey, it's worth the wait, man. We got more and more stuff to talk about.
Oh yeah, now we got a lot to talk about other than just the music.
This could be a 5-hour conversation right here.
Easily that. First thing I want to ask, for those who don't know you, and I find that really hard to believe these days that people don't know who you are. Introduce yourself for those who have no clue who I'm talking to.
Well, my name is Jordan Salud, but in my hip hop persona, I guess you could call me IA, the Combine Classic. I'm a Hawaii hip hop artist from the west side of Oahu, small little town called Nanakuli. Been in this hip hop game since 2005, and yeah, long journey, a lot of stories. Been around for a while, like my man Shango has said, and my I guess you could say what I'm trying to do is make hip hop music that sounds like what being from Hawaii feels like. If that makes sense.
That's dope. That's dope. That's probably the dopest answer to that question I've ever heard right there.
Wait,
because you have been in it for a long time.
It took me 15 years to figure that out.
Now, you're definitely right, man. You've been in the game for a hot minute, well over 15 years, 16 years. And ever since...
Hey, Shango, sorry to interrupt. Let me just jump in there real fast. Because I want to make sure I say it before I forget to.
Okay.
Everybody who's watching out there, who's catching it live or, the recorded parts, the replays, this man that you guys are looking at right here, Shango, the Don Ragga, he is one of the few people who gave me a chance when I was just this real unpolished, hungry artist 15 years ago, who gave me a platform to perform on in a place called Panama Hatties, and I was able to perform my music. And I didn't even know if it was going to be, accepted, and he embraced me with open arms, always was an open ear to listen, and also always gave good advice and gave the right advice. It was never because he was the homie, because he was trying to get something out of me. It was always because he understands integrity, and I appreciate you, Shango, for always having that and just being in my corner that way. You know what I mean? And I want to salute you and give you your flowers, because you are responsible for a lot of what has been built in the foundation of Hawaii hip hop, and I want to thank you before we go any farther. So thank you, my friend.
Hey, it's my pleasure, man. And wow, that's dope, man. I appreciate that. That means a lot. But like you said, man, way back, Panama Hatties days. Here comes this kid trying to do hip hop. And I think one of the bigger, if you want to call it that, events that I put you on back in the day was the Trap Works Collaborative. I still have no idea how I came up with that name. Looking back at it, it's like the Trap Works Collaborative, but it was you. There were a few other cats. There was you. I think there was.
Yep, was on there. I think was it Bryson G.
Bryson G.
Sincere,
Pony Boy.
Yeah.
I want to say Pony Boy and Rap Nui.
I don't think Rap Nui was on that first one. I think he came after that.
You're right, but I don't think Pony Boy's around anymore.
But I mean, just listening to all those guys have amazing journeys within itself too. You know what I mean? So just to be a part of that story and that timeline, man, is an honor.
Yeah, but you have come a long, long way. Teamed up with. When did you team up with Cutmaster Spaz?
Cutmaster Spaz actually came like in the very beginning. I was actually teamed up with Cutmaster Spaz. So actually, I met a guy named Dr. Wiz who at the time was doing all of Cutmaster Spaz's graphic designing. Um, and you know, he was a graphic a graph artist from in the back in the 80s. He's from the Mauna Loa, Salt Lake side, and yeah, he was just super dope on the graphics. I connected with him on MySpace, and
Wow.
I don't know, man. He saw something in me. I was like super rough. I was just looking for somebody to help me design my logo, and at the time I never knew he was working with Cutmaster Spaz. And I think when he first pitched me to Cutmaster Spaz, Spaz was really deep in this and that, and like he had a lot of stuff going on. So he wasn't really trying to take on being any kind of manager or anything like that. And Dr. Wiz was the one who pitched me and, got me a sit down with Cutmaster Spaz. And Spaz always tells me it was that first impression, and how I presented myself. And, he saw something in me that, I don't know, he just was just intrigued in. And from there on, he picked me up as it wasn't a management, but it was a marketing contract where he would help market me, my music. And this way, because he knows how the music industry works and how music labels
Right.
work. He didn't want any ties to like, owning any of my music, my masters. He just wanted to see if his brand and his outlet had enough power to showcase that he has enough marketing power within his brand to market a hip hop artist wide, especially with the guidance that he has throughout the years and all the teachings, he bestowed upon me. And I mean, here we are now. I mean, it definitely worked, being on this and that every week and using the TV platform and him pretty much taking me on the road with him wherever he went. I did whatever I could. I would do any free shows. I'll pull up anywhere. Yo, Spaz, whatever you need me, man, I'll jump on the mic. You need me to freestyle, you need me to perform my music, whatever, And I think during that time, it was like a perfect storm for me because not only did I have that connection with Dr. Wiz and Cutmaster Spaz, I also had the golden ticket. You know what that golden ticket was, Shango?
What was that?
The golden ticket was a track with BET, Big Every Time, and their golden, like I'm talking about, like they were hot, super hot. And
White
Papa
hot.
T, Papa T was my neighbor at the time, and another blessing. Like I said, it was a perfect storm, man, for all this to happen. Like they gave me the opportunity and jumped on my song pro bono, like, hey, we believe in you, we love what you're doing, and we released it to the radio, and it just went crazy. I mean, you remember that time? It came out of nowhere, and that right there within itself is another story, how
Yeah,
it
there
came
was
on radio.
there was like a brief time period in Hawaii hip hop during the kind of mid 2000s up until I guess the 2010s, in that space where it was like Hawaii hip hop was really starting to take off. Like people
Oh
were
yeah,
starting to pay attention. They were starting to sit up and notice, like, hold up, these cats are
people
talented.
people don't understand that along with that perfect storm, Tasho was immersed back then. He just released
Immerse
Honolulu. And that had crazy buzz. And then it's almost like
made it
that
to
my
the
song would
Billboard
be.
charts.
Yep. And then right there, the Island Sound followed up, and it got regular rotation on 102.7 The Bomb and took off. And now all of a sudden, we have regular rotation on FM radio, and like, everybody's coming out, and it was like almost like a golden era of Hawaii hip hop.
Yep. It was a hell of a lot easier to get on the radio, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. But the fact that we had two big songs on the radio, I mean, like in that moment, like I said, it was all like a perfect storm for me with meeting Spaz, getting the TV play, linking up with BT, and having the radio play. Like that was my golden ticket. And Spaz just knew how to emphasize that moment and enhance it and make it bigger. Like he knew how to put more gasoline in the fire. and helped
And
me.
there was a lot going on during that time frame. I
Oh
know during
yeah,
that time frame, well, I had
Tiki
just
Entertainment. You
I
were
just
over
come
there,
off
Tiki
of
Entertainment,
yep, I just come off my contract with Tiki Entertainment
and
around
you guys were everywhere.
2005.
Hey, y'all don't know. Shango and Loy Boy were everywhere. Shango was everywhere, and
Oh,
Shango had
that
the
was
dreads.
oh my god, man, that
And
was so
man,
much fun. It was that was so much fun. Shout out to my man Lloyd Boy, and I was watching you and your rise. Stone Groove was making a run
yep.
for it. Um,
Gritty Fitty,
Gritty
um,
Fitty,
Direct Descendants,
bruh, Hawaii hip hop
Creep the
was
Lane.
making its play. It was making its move. Like
Oh yeah,
it's our time.
yep.
And looking at things now, and seeing how many people are still active versus inactive, or they just moved on into different
Hey,
areas
Shango,
of the industry.
uh, Shango, I'm sorry to cut you off again. I also want to mention one more person. He's no longer here with us, but he was a big part of that time, especially for me. I want to say rest in peace and shout out to Track Baby Chris the Shields. Um,
Definitely.
he helped. He also was a big part of the beginning of
That's
my
right. He
career.
did one of
And
your first videos.
yep, he did. He did. Well, he did my so the way I linked up with him was when I first moved back home. I linked up with a producer here who wasn't even from here, from the mainland, and pretty much my dad had to help me invest in this to start off with, and he pretty much stole the money and he bounced.
Oh damn.
I was about to quit. I was about to quit, but within meeting him, I met this guy named Elton Gardner, who was doing stuff with Track Baby, Chris the Shields, who was Devious at the time. And he said, "Look, I got this guy. He's on a Conneaut Marine base. I think you should check him out." I went over there, and man, talk about wolves. He had wolves all over the place. I'm talking about he had, when I say wolves, I mean like hungry MCs. Like they're all military cast, but they were from Atlanta, New York, California, like MCs from all over the place. And it was like I got thrown in the lion's den over there, and I had a rep for like Hawaii in a sense, but still be a part of this crew that they had there. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was a crew called Versatile at the time. I don't know if you remember that. That's how I met you
That
guys.
sounds familiar.
That's how I met you guys, man. And
That
they brought
sounds
me over to
familiar.
Panama Hatties, and that's where I met you for the first time. And a lot of you guys. I met Supreme. I met
Yup.
who else is there? I Deliver. Met D
Dutta
Wizzy.
man.
Dutta man, Dutta. Oh my goodness, yo, Dutta. Yeah, he taught me so much too. And you know, it was that mainland hustle and that little, all these different kind of hustles and characteristics from all these different places that was instilled in me in those recording sessions in that small little room that Devious had or Track Baby had, that was a big part of that for me growing as an artist.
Man, you really brought back some memories, bro. For real.
Yeah.
So moving forward in time a little bit, um, some of the biggest plays made in Hawaii hip hop. Some of them panned out, some of them didn't. But through all of that, you got consistent IA, just consistent, steady, moving through it all. And one thing that always stood out about your music, and I want you to explain, if you can, the reason behind it is, I don't think I've ever heard you cuss in one single song. Is that by accident or is that purposeful?
I mean, there might be a little bit, I might throw in a little something to emphasize a point, but I don't get too crazy with it. And reason being is like one of my favorite MCs of all time is Rakim. And Rakim never swore one time. And he is by far one of the best lyricists to ever touch a mic. And I was so like, I mean, don't get me wrong, in high school, I was letting it fly. I was just trying to find myself and whatever, and I was
Right.
saying whatever. But then when I got a hold of Rakim's catalog, and I just heard these verses like of this lyricism, and I didn't hear him swear one time. I start to think, and then I sink into the paper like I was ink. When I'm writing, I get trapped in between the lines. I escape. When I finish my rhyme, I got soul. You know what I mean? Like, listen to that. Like, and he didn't have to swear one time. And like, I found it not only as a challenge for me, but then I also saw it I mean, we live in a place where like it's very family oriented. You know what I mean?
There you go.
And I have a very supportive family, and not only from my mom's side, my dad's side, the community. Um, my dad is very supportive of me. Shout out to Pops, 5-time world champion boxer Jesus Salud, and he has built this very positive, high integrity, and this brand for our family. So my thing was, what can I do to tie all those things together? And at the time, my son was just born. I got a 1-year old. I'm 19 years old. I got a 1-year old, and I got to be this influence. I I ain't no thug. I'm not a gangster. You know what I mean? I know that aspect, but I don't need to speak on it because we have guys who've lived through it in this hip hop, in the local hip hop scene, and they're doing that. That's their lane. You know what I mean? And I respect that. They're telling their story, and that's nothing against them. They're telling their story, but for me, this is my lane. This is what I'm gonna create, and that's the brand. And all those reasons is the reasons why you really haven't heard me, you know, like really swearing on anything. I mean, I'll slip, and throw a little bit of something there if I have to emphasize something, but yeah, that's just all that put together is really the reason why I present my music a certain way.
I mean, I've always compared your music, if you're gonna compare it to anything, I've always compared your music to like Chance the Rapper, Will Smith, Rakim in those lanes because of the no cursing part, but also because there's actual substance to what you're rapping about and singing about. Um, now, in the back of my mind, I'm like, that's a smart business move as well because your music can go anywhere.
It's funny you say that because me and Sub from Primophonics, are having this conversation about a month ago, and we're just catching up. And a lot of times the OGs, I always ask for advice. You know what I mean? Corrective criticism. I'm open to what do you see? And there's one thing that stood out to me. He said, "Yo, man, there's one thing I got to give you props on is that I could play your music for a bunch of high school kids, but then I can play it for at somebody's 60th birthday party, and we can jam on." So, I mean, maybe not realizing in that marketing aspect in the beginning, it was more for me as a personal choice, but all these years after, building that kind of catalog, now I'm starting to see the benefits.
Speaking of your catalog, I know that you just recently celebrated your 50th music video.
Hey,
Congratulations on that.
yeah.
That's a lot of work.
Yep.
And you did a virtual show. You did a virtual show on your own. That was dope, by the way. And you recently performed at the State Fair.
Yep.
Now, other than maybe, I know that me and Lloyd did it, and I don't consider us a hip hop act. I think there might have been somebody else, but I'm not
I was
sure.
talking to it's a good thing you bring that up because I was told that from the promoters of the show. They said this is the first time we have had a local hip hop group close out the show. And then I reached out to some people, and G Listen, Sons of Wakea, he kind of gave me some of the history about the local hip hop acts that performed, but nobody's ever really closed out the show.
Yeah, there've been plenty. There've been some. I ain't gonna say plenty. There've been some that have performed there, but I don't think, to the best of my recollection, I don't think anybody got the opportunity to close. We were either put on the days that they brought the school kids there for free.
Yeah.
Outside of what we consider prime time, but we just took it.
Yep.
We just ate.
You got to.
I mean, we did.
That's part of building.
Like you said, we would perform anywhere. Me and Lloyd, we would perform anywhere. Sunset on the beach, the YNIU festival.
Oh yeah,
backyard
shout out to
birthday
Boy,
parties.
Yep.
Anywhere.
Shout out to Lloyd Boy. That's a West Side boy right there.
Better believe it.
Boy? Yeah.
Better believe it. Yes, sir. But all through it all, man, you've been just super, super consistent, and I've watched your brand grow. I've watched your network grow. The guys that you have featured on some of your tracks. The song you got with Marquez, the Yeah You. I think you should just call that the Yeah You Project, because it's more than a song. It's more than a song, and it's more than a video. It's a whole movement in and of itself. Flags up, we get action, and a lot of people that I talk to, about Hawaiian. I ain't gonna say Hawaiian hip hop in Hawaii. They're like, well, all the stuff that he's talking about is Hawaii stuff. I'm like, no, you could look at it that way. That what he's talking about is stuff pertaining to Hawaii. But like you said at the top of this interview, you're basically giving people a vicarious opportunity.
There you go.
To understand what it's like to be in Hawaii, to live here, grow up here.
Exactly.
So I truly appreciate that about your music.
And that goes hand in hand with anybody you listen to from different regions. My songs do have content that speaks about Hawaii culture and local culture, but I'm not running all over the track saying Hawaii, 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 Hawaii. But what I'm telling you in the verses and what I'm trying to describe is the daily life and what we live here. I mean, even the beats are somewhat congruent to what you'll hear in the mainstream, but I'll throw a little bit of Hawaii sounds in there. But it's more so the content. It's more so the content of the lyrics and what I'm saying that really describes the everyday local living. And if you take that into account with the fact that you listen to a Snoop Dogg track, you feel like you're in LA, on a lowrider cruising through, Long Beach, Inglewood, Crenshaw. You go down to go to Texas, you listen to Paul Wall, Mike Jones, Scarface, the Ghetto Boys. You feel like you're in Texas. You go to Atlanta and you listen to T.I. or Lil Wayne, you feel like you're in Louisiana or Atlanta. Same thing with New York. You hear a Nas track, you feel like in the boroughs, and that's what I'm really trying to just create here is that feeling. Remember that feeling when you're watching Nothing But a G Thing, or you're watching like a Ludacris video, and you just see like where they're
wasn't even from Cali throwing up dubs.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And like, and that's the thing, like, and you ain't got to be from there, but you're a fan of that, and like you're enamored by how they're living, and that's what I'm trying to do here with Hawaii.
Yeah. This journey's just begun. Fueled by pride and passion. So get your flags way up high. Show the world how we fly. Get your flags way up high. Get your flags way up.
Yeah, seam up. Feel the mana when we team up. One love when we beam up. Hit my line, cause this be the screamer. Nothing like they never seen us. Them tell lies, they can't see us. We just do what we must. Do this for you, do this for us. Do this right now so the future knows us. Broken promise, no trust. My people, get your hands up, get up, stand up. One more time, I don't think that they hear us. My people, get your fist up, get up, stand up. Like Uncle Bob taught us. Too much confusion, this revolution. They don't wanna televise, but we know, realize. One time for the bloodline.
We'll be on the run to the top. This journey's just begun. Fueled by pride and passion. So to get your flags way up high. Show the world how you fly. Get your flags way up high. Get your flags way up.
This generation rules the nation. Time's up, we lost our patience. Ultralight beam, but this time it's red, yellow, green. Blame the blood in me. All caps with no ego. You know where I go, my hot A goes. When the wind blows, watch my hot A flow. From the highest peak to the light blue show. A young world, watch and take notes. Cause they don't want you to know until it's too late to do so. Put them high, even if they say no. Get them high, let the whole globe know. I said, put them high, even if they say no. Get them high, let the whole globe know. Cause we know that they don't want us to do so. So let's go.
Yeah, we be on the run sensation, yeah. Show them how we fly, yeah, yeah, yeah. Show them how we fly, even if this ain't no. Show them how we fly, even if this ain't no. Yeah, 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 yeah. Even if this ain't no.
You definitely feel it, and
Yep.
that's what I love about your music is, you know, if I'm bumping IA, and shout out to the homie Image, who is probably one of the
Oh
most
yeah, that's a
prolific
historian.
historians of Hawaii
Yes.
hip hop breathing.
Yep.
I got to get him on this show one day, man. Just let him talk, so he
Yep.
can educate people. But
Yep.
he
Yo, he
slid
has
me-
every single album from Hawaii hip hop. I swear,
yes,
every single album, every CD,
every album,
he's got
T-shirt,
Yep.
everything.
Yep.
The dude is just amazing with that, and he's not so bad as an MC himself. So
Nope. The
shout
man
out
is
to
definitely
Image.
a poet.
But he gave me a copy of the Kama Aina Classic.
Hmm.
That I know that takes you back.
You know, as much as that's a very, you know, iconic to my brand, it's very hard to listen to for me being a perfectionist as an artist and just like my growth from then till now. But I gotta appreciate it because without that, I wouldn't be here today.
Exactly. I always do that. I find CDs laying around in the studio like, oh snap, this is from like 2001. And then I'll go and listen to it, and I will sit there and cringe like, what was I thinking?
But hey, you know what? You gotta look at it this way. You don't know where you're going if you don't know where you came from. So
Very true. Very, very true. Now, speaking of that, you have you've kind of added some tangents to your journey from
just a little bit.
just a little bit, this guy says. So so not only are you still doing your music and you're performing and keeping Hawaii hip hop alive, hip hop in Hawaii alive. The acting, how did that come about?
Oh man, you know, I wasn't even expecting that. You know, I really wasn't expecting that. And you know, my biggest influence career-wise for hip hop is LL Cool J. I don't know. A lot of people say that they can hear the influence in my music and see it in my brand somewhat. But yeah, shout out to Uncle LL Cool J. You know, he's always been an inspiration of mine as far as like not only with the music but like overall brand. Like I'm not saying I want to be like Hawaii's version of LL Cool J, but I wanted to use his success and what he has done. You know, I was always influenced by that, and I wanted to create something like that for myself.
Okay.
And honestly, I wasn't even looking to be an actor. You know, I mean, I was always a thought like, who wouldn't want to be, right? I mean, if you think about it, when we shoot hip hop videos, we're kind of acting in a mini film, right, or a short film.
Roger.
And I was actually asked to be on Hawaii Five-0 as like a background person to perform. Like, I guess they're at a bar or something, and they're asking me to like, oh, can you be the artist on stage? You know, you're not really performing or anything. And I'm at the casting office, and the casting director walks by, and she takes a look at me. She's like, hey, what are you here for? I'm like, oh, I'm just doing a background part. And she says, oh, do you want to, would you like to read for a part? I think you fit something. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, hell yeah. You know, I'm trying to play cool. I'm trying to play cool. I'm like, oh, sure. Yeah, I guess I'll try. And yeah, they liked what I did, and boom, caught the bug, man. I was able to be in 2 episodes of Hawaii Five-0, and from there, man, got an agent. Shout out to Cutmaster Spaz for helping me get that, with that, because he's also acted in Hawaii Five-0 as well. And then from there, it kind of just took off doing local commercials, being in other films, short films, movies, and it's just really helped me broadcast Hawaii hip hop even more. You know, every time I'm on set, that's the first thing I always present myself with. My government name, but also when it gets to small talk, a lot of people ask, "Oh, what do you do out here?" And I'm like, I'm a Hawaii hip hop artist. And the first reaction, and I'm talking about, I'm having these conversations with actors. I'll never forget. I'm sitting there with Chai McBride, one of the most recognized, and I'd say he's a consistent actor within this last 20 years. Chai McBride, we've seen him in a lot of movies, and having that conversation with him, and we're talking about Hawaii hip hop, and I'm showing him stuff, and he's tripping out. He's like, "Yo, y'all get down like this out here," and
because a lot of people don't know.
Yeah, they don't know, and it's cool because I seen him at I think it was the Rockets and Clippers exhibition basketball game, and I seen him, and he actually remembered me. But he remembered me. Guess what he remembered me as?
The guy in the bus on Hawaii 5-0?
No, he was like, "Hey, you that Hawaii rapper kid I had to elbow in Hawaii 5-0."
Oh, okay.
So I was like, "Hey, the fact that he remembered me as the Hawaii rapper kid, that's cool, man, because now he has associated hip hop with Hawaii."
That's what's
and
up.
That's a Hollywood celebrity. You know what I mean?
Now, the trippy thing about this is, I was watching Hawaii 5-0 yesterday, because they run it all day long on Ion. It's a channel called Ion.
Yep.
And I think it was season 4, episode 20.
Yep.
And I looked up and I was like, "Oh shit, that's IA." I'm like, "That's IA though." In the scene, I think it was Danny and the other guy. They was talking to you and a couple of other folks, but because I was working at the time, so I had to kind of pay attention to a different computer screen. But when I kind of looked out my side, I'm like, "Oh crap, that's IA on damn TV." Hey, all right.
Cut the check, baby. Cut the check. Hawaii 5-0. Where's my check?
Yeah. So when you say you were able to be on Hawaii 5-0 a couple of times, that in and of itself is awesome. But I've been seeing these little clips of you in a Vietnam era military uniform. Now, me being ex-military, that piques my interest just a little bit. So I know you can't probably talk about it in depth. But yeah, what's going on with that?
What I can say is that I'm a part of a beautiful story that is about a Hawaiian Vietnam War veteran, and he's in the last leg of his life, and he's trying to fit into society today and be appreciated. And it's a beautiful story, and I wish I could say more, but I was very honored to be a part of this film, not only for my heritage and my culture, but because the military ties with Hawaii, you know what I mean? And I think there's a lot of, I don't want to say good and bad, but there's a lot of controversy on each side. There's a lot of good things, and there's a lot of, there's so much that comes along with it. I feel like this story gives a lot of understanding. I don't want to say it, and it helps a lot of understanding. And it helped me. It gave me a lot of understanding too, and the reason why a lot of things happen and why we shouldn't look at things a certain way. But I can't dig too much into it. But yeah, man. I'm excited for the film to come out, and it was truly an honor to be a part of something that brings understanding like that to
it definitely looks like it's going to be something interesting. Just the little parts that I saw, it's like, man, this is going to be major. This is going to be the one, I think, that's really going to put Jordan Salud and IA on the map of the world. Not that you aren't already, because you've been to Taiwan touring on your own, which I also want to talk to you about that. How did that happen? I'm going to come back around to that. But I just want to congratulate you on the things you're doing in film and TV.
Hey Shango,
man,
what I can say though, what I can say, Shango, is that because you mentioned Taiwan, Asia, I have also just been casted on a film that is being produced by, I can say this. I can't say anything more though, but I can say that it's being created by Justin Chan, who is starred in Twilight, and is one of the biggest Asian brands in Hollywood right now. You know, he's producing this film. He just casted me to play alongside huge Indonesian rapper Rich Brian. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He had that song.
No, but I'll look for him.
He's part of 88 Rising. It's like the Rockefeller of Asia. But that's one of the projects also coming up. We're gonna start filming here in Hawaii pretty soon within the next couple of weeks. So I figure since you mentioned the film and you mentioned Taiwan, I want to give a big shout out to that, and we are going to be working on that pretty soon.
Well, it definitely brings something else to mind. I recently did an interview with the CEO of Blue Pie Records in Australia, and that's a funny story. The whole way I wound up getting that was on one of the record pool things that I get music through. I got a new song from the East Side Boys, and I wanted to interview them, but they were unavailable. So the guy was like, "Yeah, but we got the CEO of Blue Pie Records." I'd never heard of Blue Pie Records, so immediately the hood side of my brain kicked in and said, "Man, don't nobody in Hawaii know who that cat is, bro."
Yeah.
Don't nobody know who this cat is. But then, as I thought about it, I'm always preaching about different things in the music business that artists should look for, worry about. Who better to get that information from or receive new information from than the CEO of a record label?
Yep.
So brought him on. We had a wonderful conversation, and by the end of the conversation, he basically put me to the task of introducing talent from Hawaii to his label. So with you having said that, I think I'll definitely pull his coattail to this, Hawaii rapper kid named.
And it's funny too. It's funny you mentioned that. He probably knows the producer of my song Zubland and Flags Up. His name is Wilsta. He's a Samoan, but he's Australian born. Australian born Samoan. He lives in Australia, and he's probably one of the biggest music producers out there. And he's produced some of the biggest artists in Australia. Right now, he's producing a group called 1-4 Official, this Samoan hip-hop crew that makes drill music. And it's like blowing up. Wow. They're everywhere. And they have songs with A$AP Ferg. I mean, they're on the charts. They have, millions and millions of streams, and they're blowing up. So I'm sure if we connect the dots there somehow, some way, they're linked or they know each other.
That definitely does sound different. Samoan hip-hop group doing drill?
Oh, it's crazy. And they got A$AP Ferg.
I got to catch that.
They flew A$AP Ferg out there to Australia, and A$AP Ferg is going crazy with them. Imagine that, a bunch of polys, doing drill music, and they got an MC from Harlem. They got A$AP Ferg from Harlem doing drill music with them.
I mean, people are still in recovery from Booyah Tribe. They're still in recovery from that, I think. And the things that Jay Booger's been able to do with him coming out of Compton. When I see artists who have Hawaii ties, at first, the way that the mainland media can present them can make it corny. Kalani from Hawaii. Well, I don't know if she's actually from Hawaii or if she just got people here. Nicole Schwarzinger.
She's a West Side girl, man. Nicole's from Waianae. Her mom is from Waianae.
Exactly. So it's like when you find out that a person has Hawaii ties, and I'm not born and raised Hawaii, it just, I don't know, you feel a kinship with them.
Yeah,
that you guys have the bond, y'all share a common bond in a place. And I've tried to leave Hawaii before. I've tried to leave. I've tried to go home to my home of record, I'll say. In North Carolina, I've tried going home. And after being back there, I think the longest I was able to stay back was maybe a little over a year. And after that, it was like, I hate it here. I want to go back home.
Oh, hey, what's up, gang? Welcome to this week's episode of Yeah, You Yeah. It's your host, Dennis Figueroa, aka The Language. You're the guy. This week we got a special guest. We get DJ Technique back here. And we get our brother from the west side, the Kama Iron Classic himself. Brother I. A. Ooh, you the guy.
Back it up, then stop. Give it all you got. Let's go. Shorty swing my way. Okay. I love it when you make me say, yeah, you go get 'em. Get 'em. Yeah, you go get 'em. Go. Looking at her watch like, yeah. She know today's date, right? Yeah. She know what goes down tonight. Yeah. She can't have a nightlife, cause she tryna get her life right. But the girls hit her up like, what's up? Baby daddy got her stressing, asking 10 million for 100,000 questions. Where she at and why? She out the door like bye. Cause her friends pull up, now it's girls night. Pre-game got her feeling right. Real talk, all she wanna do is dance with the crew. Not tryna find a new boo. Take a couple shots, take her heels off too. Ooh, got him like, yeah, you. Back it up, then stop. Give it all you got. Let's go. Shorty swing my way. Okay. I love it when you make me say, yeah, you go get 'em. Get 'em. Yeah, you go get 'em. Go. Second job clocked out like safety vest, hella dirty life. No college, so I gotta live like labor job. Got my pockets right, real job tryna live right. But the boys hit me up like we gotta go out tonight. Now they got me talking like, yeah, you run 'em hard, no scared 'em. I'll be on my way. Hit a bus for the quick fade. Gold chain sway every time I switch lanes. Yeah, and I got 'em like ooh, and I got 'em like ooh. Cause what's a man to do when he work 2 jobs all day times 2? Hustle, yeah. What's a man to do when he work 2 jobs all day times 2? Yeah. Back it up, then stop. Give it all you got. Shorty swing my way. I love it when you make me say, okay, yeah, you go get 'em. Get 'em. Yeah, you go get 'em. Yeah, you go get 'em. Yeah, you go get 'em. Yeah, you go. Back it up, then stop. Give it all you got. Shorty swing my way. I love it when you make me say, okay, yeah, you go get 'em. Get 'em. Yeah, you go get 'em. You. Yeah, you.
Yep. You a local
Can I come
boy
back to
now.
Hawaii?
You a local boy.
You know, y'all ain't got no sticky rice. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't got no sticky rice. Y'all ain't got no locomoco.
Yep.
The
there you
fish
go.
tastes weird. I'm going back to Hawaii.
No zippies, no poke.
No zippies nowhere. I think Vegas gets zippies now, but that's about as close as you're going to get.
Yep.
And it always cracked me up, like going into Greensboro, and there was this one place that was supposedly selling Hawaiian food. And I get there,
Teriyaki chicken.
I'm all jazzed up, like, all right,
Let's go.
let's do this. I'm looking at the menu. I don't see anything Hawaiian or even close. I see y'all got some fried rice.
Teriyaki chicken.
What is the big Kahuna burger? What is that? The big Kahuna burger. The big
And that's
Kahuna
why-
burger
And
is a
that's why
teriyaki
we need
patty.
to- bruh. With a
Yes,
pineapple.
it's a teriyaki
pineapple.
patty with a pineapple slice on it.
And this is why we need to show our local culture in these videos and show them how it's really done. This is why I do the things I do.
I was heartbroken. I was absolutely heartbroken. I just walked out. I just walked the hell out. When people think Hawaii, I mean, yeah, they're going to think of those iconic symbols, the pineapple fields. They're going to think about that. They're going to think about the hula dancers. They're going to think about the white sand beaches and all of that. But I think hip hop
It's all
in
ornamental.
Hawaii's struggle has always been to present a real picture
Exactly.
of Hawaii, a multifaceted picture, if you will. Yeah, we got all the nice, pretty stuff, but we also got this real life stuff that y'all need to know about. You know, y'all need to know about that. Y'all need to know that that our kids are coming up, and yeah, we're trying to give them the culture. We take excellent care of our keiki. Our keiki is our future, and we big them up every single chance we get. People need to know that you know, Hawaii's not just centered on getting people here to spend money. Hawaii is life, period. It's like all the things you can think about, good and bad about life. Hawaii represents all of that.
Yep.
All of that.
I agree.
And, man, I'm telling you, with everything that you've got going on, I don't see how you keep your head on straight. The acting, the music, performing, being a family man, your father's legacy. That's a lot for someone to carry. So how do you make it all click? How do you make it all work?
I got to make sure I run the sand every morning. I do some squats, you know. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, you know, I was blessed to be around my dad when he was coming up. And I saw those long gym hours from when he was, you know, I would have to be in the gym with him. I saw what he had to go through. I saw the kind of mud he had to fight and claw out of to get where, you know, this world champion status. He showed me unconsciously that this is a marathon. You can't sprint in a marathon, you know. Take things day by day, do what you can in that day, and then tomorrow's another day. And each day build, each day get better, each day get stronger, each day grow more awareness. You know, Rome wasn't built in a day, like they say, right?
True that.
And I'm not trying to be here, and it goes back to also my influence from LL Cool J. He was making hip hop music strong, and he got better and better every year. You know, he's still in the game. It may not be in hip hop, but he still has, you know, Rock the Bells radio. He's still doing his acting. He's still somewhat tied to the culture, and he always represents it. And
he'll still slip out a freestyle here and there to remind you that he still can do it.
Oh yeah. I mean, even Will Smith too. You know, he jumped on his son's Icon song and killed that verse. But I'm looking for longevity. I'm not trying to be an overnight celebrity or overnight success. I mean, an overnight success technically takes 10 years. You know what I mean? And I'm really trying to build a foundation out here and trying to influence this next generation of hip hop artists, how to grow a brand, how to do it grassroots style, because I feel like grassroots style connects with the people of Hawaii more. You know, being somewhat, I mean, I was just recently, somebody called me in California, they tweeted to me and they said that I'm like the E40 of Hawaii. I mean, that's an honor.
Dang.
E40. To be mentioned in the same sentence like that as a legend like E40, I mean, he's got a lot of stuff over me, but, you know, I'm just honored. But I can kind of see where the comparison comes in. And yeah, I'm just trying to build this brand and show the next generation of artists that music is the vehicle, not the house. You know what I mean? You use the vehicle to get the brand and bring the awareness, and then you use what you got from music to build around it, make the community strong, the foundation stronger, and full force. You have control of your destiny. You have control of your brand, control of everything. You know what I mean? And that's, you know, stemming from the late great Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace, and a lot of these, you know, Master P. You know, I've done a lot of studying in this game, and a lot of trial and error, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, a lot of failures, and just trying to figure it out. And
True.
You know, it hasn't been easy. Hey, Shango, it hasn't been easy. All those things you mentioned, that's a lot of weight. That's a lot of weight on the shoulders. But, you know, by the grace of God, you know, helped me through it. You know, just gotta lean on him during those really rough times, man. Because there's been times where I've gone broke for this music. You know what I mean? I've gone broke.
Same, man.
Yeah, you know how it goes. At one point in time, I had 4 jobs. I worked for a hotel, while working for a security company, while working as an on-air DJ for 102.7 The Bomb, and being part owner of a clothing store. And doing music at the same time. You know?
Yep.
It's not cheap to live here in Hawaii, so I got to make sure There's
You
cash
gotta
flow
wear
to take care
multiple
of the family.
hats. You
Cash
gotta
flow to
wear
take care of the
multiple
family.
hats.
The brand still goes, and I mean, I'm so grateful for the journey, because now that I'm starting to see the fruits of the labor now, and the benefits and building everything that I've done, I'm starting to see it. That's over, like you said, over 15 years. I had to go through all that to get where I'm at today, and
But do you feel like you've reached your peak, or do you feel like, okay, I just caught my stride with this, but you haven't really peaked yet?
honestly, I mean, shoot, I mean, you see, I feel good. I feel like I know the brand, I know the sound, I know the look, I know how to get the engagement. I know I got the backing from the community. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's all coming together now. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's a lot more of this book of mine that needs to be written before I can even rest and sit down.
I feel like he just catching a stride right now. He just fell into the rhythm of it right now. But as far
Yep.
as hitting the peak, nah, he ain't hit the peak yet. He's still going. But he got the stride now. He got the timing down. He running
Yep.
with it right now. And it's a great thing to see. I see it with you. I see it with Punahele. Shout out to Punahele and everything that he's been doing and his involvement in the whole situation with Mauna Kea.
Aloha Aina. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that kid is awesome, and I learned a lot about Hawaiian history, Hawaiian ancestry from him. Whenever we bump into each other and we sit down, I start pumping him with questions.
Yeah. And but see, that's good though. Like, like he's got his lane, and he is giving you another aspect of hip hop music that sounds like what being from Hawaii feels like. You know what I mean? He's taking you on a walk through the trenches of Makaha to the peaks of Mauna Kea. You know what I mean? You can feel the mana through his music.
That is so dope. That's the dopest description of the music created by a Hawaiian hip hop artist. That's the dopest explanation I've heard of it in what you just said. And I did have one other question, and I just forgot it. That shows you I'm getting old. And I think that was the question. When you look at this next generation of artists, with the new, I don't want to say new, but with the younger artists that are starting to come up, and I just watched a bunch of them on IG yesterday, and it's like, man, I don't even know these kids. When you come across young artists in Hawaii doing music, trying to do music, trying to get out there, trying to get heard, do you immediately take the uncle stance, or do you just kind of fade back, check them out, see what they're doing, and see how you can help?
My immediate response is always positive. Like, I'll reach out to them, like, I'll start off with dope. I'll put some fire emojis just to give them that encouragement. You know what I mean? I'll throw that out there because I feel like, we're in a time of social media where, like, you can make that small talk and stuff like that to where, and also when I was coming up, we were a bunch of pit bulls. There was no like shout out from the OGs like that. You know what I mean? We were competing with each other. You know what I mean?
For real. It was contact sport.
But I do remember the feeling when I had somebody like Big T's, when I had somebody like James Coles, when I had somebody like DJ Cool E reach out to me. Jimmy Taco, reach out to me and say like, that's dope. I remember that feeling. So when I come across these artists and I do see something dope that I like, I'm gonna do the same thing. That's dope. And sometimes I get the DMs like, they'll reach out to me and just talk story a little bit, and give them any advice I can. Hopefully I can. My thing is like, can I give you the advice to skip the mistakes I made? You know what I mean? Because like Jay-Z said, go further, work harder. If not, why bother? You know what I mean? I'd rather you guys, I can't do this forever. I want y'all to go further. Take it farther. Take what I've written You know what I mean? What I've put in this foundation, take it for what it's worth. Take what I've done, take my success and the success that I've had, and make it your own and continue the story. You know what I mean?
Passing of the baton.
I mean, we got to. We can't. We're not going to be here forever, man. We're going to die one day. You know what I mean?
Yep. Facts.
And hopefully these kids can keep it alive, and hopefully they look back at these blueprints that we laid out. You know what I mean? And
I find myself doing that a lot.
And
I'm like,
we really can't jump in there and like uncle nobody, because then sometimes people don't want to be uncled.
No,
you gotta
they
let,
don't.
sometimes you gotta let these kids go through it, and then they see, oh, that's why they did this. That's why this is that way. That's why he's doing this. And then they come back like, yo, I got a question about this that you did, and why you did that made this happen. You know what I mean?
I get a lot of weird, I ain't gonna say weird, but I get a lot of questions in my inbox. And now that I'm more on IG, you know, now that I kind of figured out IG a little bit, I'm on there a lot more. So now I get a lot of stuff in my DMs, and it's like questions from, you know, young artists. Hey, how do I go about doing this? How do I do that? How do I do this? Can I do this? And I'm quick to share, because I feel like you could have went and asked anybody in the industry this question, but you chose to ask me. So let me do my best to help you, so that when you walk away from our little exchange here, it's not, man, I hit that dude Shango up and asked him, and he was a butthole. No, I don't want you leaving with that impression. I want you feeling like you can come back to me if you got another question.
Be a resource.
And if I can answer it, I'll answer it. If I can't, I'll do my best to point you in the right direction of someone who can.
Hate it or love it, them local boys on top. One up, one down. Yeah, when we come to your town. You don't want them local boys to pull up, flooding your block with all them lifted trucks. Talk to your girl like, what's up? When we come around, you know we go up. Let's go. Yeah, you know we get action. You know we get action. If you want it, come and get it. You know we get action. You know we get action. Up and up. Talk a lot of ish, cause I could back it up. They like, why you local boys always acting up? Hold up, you don't know what we've been through. You don't know my people, so please don't check my attitude. Yeah, they try to tell me how to live, tell me how to move, tell me how to walk. Nah, hold up. They try to tell me who to be, tell me how to act, tell me how to talk. No worries, bruh, I get them, run them hard, no scared them. Hold me back, I never let them. Now watch me hustle properly, get this money and buy back my family's property. You don't want them local boys to pull up, flooding your block with all them lifted trucks. Talk to your girl like, what's up? When we come around, you know we go up. Yeah, you know we get action. You know we get action. If you want it, come and get it. You know we get action. You know we get action. Up and hate it or love it, them local boys on top. The ladies love it and tell us don't stop. Yeah, we keep it solid over here on this block. Hate it or love it, them local boys on top. On top. What else? Don't stop. Okay. On this block right here, we on top. Get your fist up, put your guns down. Anybody can squeeze a trigger, don't be a clown. Up and up is what I'm really speaking on. Hard scrap, then life goes on. Bless up to the OGs, same ones that used to scold me for acting foolish with integrity. No matter what I did, they always pray for me. Win some, lose some, but life goes on. You don't want some local boys to pull up, flooding your block with all them lifted trucks. Talk to your girl like, what's up? When we come around, you know we go up. Yeah. You know we get action. You know we get action. If you want it, come and get it. You know we get action. You know we get action. We get hate it or love it, them local boys on top. The ladies love it and tell us don't stop. We keep it solid over here on this block. Hate it or love it, them local boys on top. On top. What else? Don't stop. On this block, we on top.
because there's a lot of knowledge out here with us. I don't want to say older guys, but with us more seasoned guys in the game. We're not older per se. We're just more seasoned. So guys like you, guys like the highlights. There's a lot of people. Mox,
Chris Styles, Mox,
Osna, Chris Styles,
OG Libra.
Especially OG Libra. I mean, I was so happy to see him come back into this mix of things, bruh, because I felt like Hawaii hip hop needs this right now.
Yep.
Hawaii hip hop needs this right now. And there's always going to be a lot of controversy within our music scene. People who don't like other people for this reason, or maybe they don't
Every
like
music
their,
scene is like that.
You know what I mean?
Every music scene is like that. Everywhere.
Because it's family.
I learned that when I went to, like, when I go and travel, when I go to the Bay Area, when I go to LA, when I go to San Diego, every scene is like, has their family dramas. You know what I mean?
Because it is family. That is the operative word. It's family.
It is.
Like, every family got, that one person that, as soon as they step out the car at the picnic or at the barbecue, everybody like, oh, shit.
Yeah. Hey, you know what's crazy? Hey, Shango, you know what's crazy? Let me share this with you. Sorry, I hate to be long-winded, and I know we're going over,
go ahead.
Over an hour already.
But, good, bro.
Yo, MCs out there, Hawaii artists, you gotta travel. You gotta get out of Hawaii to give yourself a perspective of how much Hawaii is appreciated outside and how much people are curious to know about what really goes on here. And the love you get out there, it's crazy. I've done sold out shows in California, all over California. I've done shows in Vegas. I've been overseas, and you gotta make a trip. You gotta make a trip to give yourself some perspective, and yeah, I mean that's part of your journey. Like, that's my challenge to all you guys. Save up some money, reach out to some promoters, even if you gotta do a free show or whatever you gotta do. You gotta get out there, and it's a big world once you start performing outside of Hawaii. And you're not gonna notice how much the appreciation is different out there. Everybody here, we all know each other. There's only so many times you can ask your family and friends to come to your show. But when somebody from outside pulls up to your show, you're talking that Hawaii lingo, and you're performing, and it makes them, bob a little bit, move like, oh, Hawaii. And then all of a sudden they're looking at hashtags. They're looking up hashtags on IG, TikTok, or whatever the case may be, YouTube. Now they're looking up Hawaii hip hop or rapping in Hawaii or whatever. And boom, now this whole wave is coming. Like, you got to do it. You got to do it. It'll open your eyes. I've been blessed to perform internationally. I've been blessed to perform on sold out shows in the House of Blues in California. You know what I mean? And you got to figure out a way. Figure it out. If you really want to do this, if this is what you want to do, make a trip. Make a couple trips. Got to.
I'm so glad that you said that. That was one of probably the most humbling experiences I had, was at the peak of my popularity here, going back to the mainland, going back home to North Carolina. And
I think I've seen you. I saw the story you wrote. You wrote about this on Facebook, right?
Dude, yes. It's
But yeah, please share it. Please share it.
It is super humbling. So I walk into this ladies' club in Greensboro, North Carolina, on High Point Road. And I'm like, yeah, my name is Shango. I do music. I'm from Hawaii. And yeah, I want to come here and I want to perform in your club. Cocky as a son of a bitch.
Yep.
And this lady, after our little conversation, was like, okay, baby, if you want to perform in the club, that's going to cost you $14. $14? No, baby, $1,400 to rent the club. I'm like, whoa, I want to perform here. I ain't trying to buy your club. She was like, honey, I don't know you. For all I know, you'll run everybody out of here. So you want to perform in my club? $1,400. And her name was, I want to say, Nina Black. And she gave me the 411. Oh, she actually, I had a clip going on over here. She actually shared information with me that made me understand that, yeah, baby, you good in Hawaii. People know who you are over there.
It's not Hawaii.
nobody knows you here.
Nope.
So you have to rebuild yourself here. And you're going to have to take the same route that everybody else took. It's not going to happen magically. It's not going to happen overnight. You're going to get a lot of disappointments. But with this lady's tutelage, with her in my ear, kind of like the way Cutmaster Spaz was you, she didn't want to be my manager. She didn't want to know anything about my music. She just felt like if you had the balls to walk into my club and tell me that you want to perform here and try to sell yourself to me when all these other guys around here never do, I'm going to help you out. I'm going to help you out with information. And with her tutelage, I went through all of the underground spots, the basement of hotels, ciphers under overpasses.
Trenches.
The trenches to get my name embedded in the street. And then once that happened, a few little shows over here, a little show over there, a little show over there, until I was able to rebuild myself and perform at the Coliseum in Greensboro in front of thousands of people at the Summer Jam. And if you've never been to the Summer Jam in Greensboro, I mean thousands of people. And I'm the only cat on stage doing the type of music that I do. Who does that? Hip hop, reggae, R&B, all kind of roll up into one.
Nobody.
But I did it, and it was huge, and I was humble, and there was no more of the cocky arrogance there. There was just a sincere, deep appreciation to have an opportunity to do the music that I love to do.
Yep.
And that was the pinnacle of my journey back home. And when I came back to Hawaii, it was like, I still want to do it, but I've learned so much. I just want to share it with everybody back over here and see them blow up, see them shine. And that's when I really got on the track of doing the hip hop showcases and all of that. I just wanted to share and get people ready for the next step. And I always told artists that.
Look at everybody who's came through and performed on your platform.
Man,
look at the list.
Success stories.
Look at the list.
The list is huge.
Yep.
But there's a lot of success stories from that list. A lot of success stories. And there are artists that left Hawaii and are back in the mainland, but they still look back to Hawaii.
Oh yeah.
They look back over here.
And it's funny that you with your story, and because we're an island, everybody knows each other. You're able to build a brand faster. And like with your story, it shows how big the world is outside. I mean, you know what I mean? And if you think your one little success is big here, bruh, go jump in with the big fish. Go rub some shoulders. I even learned that with Keith when we had Keith the Sneak, and I did my song with Keith the Sneak. And, I didn't realize it was dope here. But then when I went to the Bay Area, if you say you got a song with Keith the Sneak and you got a song with them,
it's got to be fire.
Yo, we had Keith the Sneak talking about local moco, it's all gravy. You know what I mean? Not only do people in San Francisco and the Bay Area love Hawaii, they love the Hawaii food, Hawaii culture. I have a song with one of the legends, of the Bay. And I didn't realize how big that impact was till I went there. And people, knew the song, and then they see that I have a song with Keith the Sneak. It's like, yo, how did you get a song with Keith the Sneak? You know what I mean? It's like, it's a big world out there. and that's a whole nother story. But yo, it's a very big world. And these artists, the indie artists here, if you really want to, if this is what you want to do, man, that's one of the sacrifices you gotta make and figure out how you can make a trip like that happen.
And it does show that our artists, Hawaii artists, guys like you, guys like Mox, guys like oh my God, guys like Tease. Tease is one of my longtime friends, and I consider him a brother and a mentor in what I do musically.
That's OG, man. You got a gold plaque.
That's OGGG.
You got a gold plaque.
So the amount of respect that I got for being on a song with Mox, and it wasn't even my doing. It was Merc Major, kid out of Waianae, put it together. Me, Mox, originally it was supposed to be Jazzy, but the female artist got changed to Sammy. I think she used to be like Miss Teen Hawaii back in the day, and of course Mert and Mac Foreign. And we did this song. I really didn't think a lot of it, but it like put me in another space because I had been on this song with Mox. Now we know Mox. I know Mox as a guy that can sing his butt off. He can murder you in a battle, like
MC battle.
completely dissect you
Yep.
in a battle. And you know, he's just super talented in so many ways, and a real humble guy, real nice guy,
and a guy who's been through a lot, man. If you're an artist, you have questions, that's a man. Pick his brain. Pick that man's brain.
That man's journey is on the something that biopics are made of.
Yeah, pick his brain on the music side, the business side, the personal side. Yeah, that guy has a lot of gems that he could share with you if you reach out to him.
You know, people still trip when they find out that he was on American Idol.
Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying. There's so many layers to his story. You start peeling back the layers. You're like, damn, he did this. Damn, he did that. Scribble Jam, American Idol. You know, he was Ruckus Records. You know what I mean? He has so much. And
I see something like that coming for you in the future, man. I think that we're probably going to get a Kama Aina Classic biopic that shows your journey. You know, and you still got a long way to go. That's the thing of it, man. You still have so far to go, and it's just a pleasure watching you catch your stride and catch your rhythm. Like, okay, the boy running now. He running now. He ain't done yet.
Man. I'm trying my best, man. I'm trying my best to keep the stride going. And yeah, like you said, man, I'm feeling good right now. I feel like I'm in a good place, and there's a lot more to the story to be written, and I'm excited to share it with all you guys, man. Hey, Elvis, sorry, my dog is going crazy out there.
It's all good. Well, look, Elvis, man, we are way over our time, and I don't care. This was awesome.
Hey, you know, we could go another 2-3 hours, man. We got a lot. I'm sure we could do like a part 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah, but to do that, we're gonna need some steak with some, you know, some Hawaiian salt and some oysters.
There you go.
Maybe a little pea. You know, some food to go along with that. Yes. But man, thank you so much for taking time out of your day and chopping it up with me. For those who managed to catch this live, and I won't know until I get off of this and I'm able to check the metrics and all that good stuff. My only broadcasted to my website and my Twitch TV page, which is still new and probably doesn't have a lot of followers, if it has any, to say that. But I will be rebroadcasting this on Facebook since there's no music. And I wanted to play music. I did, but this interview went so well, man. I'm happy that it doesn't have music. So
sorry
I
to all
can
the
just
artists, man. We had a lot of talking going on, but sorry.
Yep. So give me a little minute to edit it and clean it up real nice, and I'm gonna shoot it over to you after it goes into my cloud, and I edit it a little bit and I'll shoot it over to you so that you'll have it, and I'm definitely gonna share it on my Facebook, and I don't know if it's gonna fit on IG Reel. Maybe I have to do like an IGTV thing, but I think a lot of people need to hear this interview, get to know IA in a different kind of way, and you know, get turned on to your brand of music, man, and get turned on to your brand of everything.
Trying to push the culture forward, man. Thank you so much, Shango, for giving me the opportunity to sit down and talk to you and share and catch up with you. I know it's been a minute since you had a moment to catch up. But, man, I appreciate you, man. I mean, everything that you do, I mean, it doesn't go unseen. You know, I may not be able to engage all the time, but I see the stuff you're doing, and you know, it's part of the foundation that we're building, and we need your contribution. So don't ever think that it's going unseen. You know what I mean? We see you. So
I appreciate that, man. And same goes to you, man. We see you too. You're making Hawaii proud. You're making Hawaii hip hop proud. Keep doing your thing, man. Keep doing it.
Thank you, brother. We'll be in touch.
And there it is, ladies and gents. Come on, the classic. IA. Hey, take care of yourself, man.
All right, brother.
All right.
Run it, run it, run it, run it.
I don't really care if they like me. Eyes red, need some visine. Please, clear the set, this is my scene. 190 proof, white lightning. They ain't working hard like me. They don't sacrifice like me. They don't really vibe like me. Claim to try like me, do or die like me, no. First and foremost, I don't rap for other rappers. Where your Golden Globes at, you an actor. Straight far-sighted, see me looking past you. Astronaut taking off, call me NASA. Grey's Anatomy, neuro guard, surgical. Eat you little pussies up like some cervical. Make them take a seat, homie, catching vertigo. Ain't no coming back, fam, you is terminal. Hate me, don't play me, I'm sick as some rabies. They all say the same thing from AB to YZ. 4K, you HD, you doubt me, but wait, see, I'm Salt Bay, you saline, I'm solo the A-team. Nah, I ain't really on that dissing shit. More so on some get my kids some Christmas gifts. Think I got him pissed slightly, he got game Spike Lee, but he not like me. I don't really care if they like me. Eyes red, need some visine. Please, clear the set, this is my scene. 190 proof, white lightning. They ain't working hard like me. They don't sacrifice like me. They don't really vibe like me. Claim to try like me, do or die like me, no.
You know you're with the gangsta. I love, 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 love. I love, 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 love. Put your hands up, up. It's the gangsta. I love. Now throw your hands up, up. It's the gangsta. I love. Now put your hands up, up. It's the gangsta. I love. I say it'll hold up. It's a stick up. You about to get. Now put your hands up, up. It's the gangsta. I love. Now throw your hands up, up. It's the gangsta. I love. Now put your hands up, up. It's the gangsta. I love. I say it'll hold up. It's a stick up. You about to get. Move your body to the beat one time. Freaky, that's the only thing I'm about to put in your mind. Put your hands up in the air real high, like it's a robbery and you about to beg for your life. Now first things first, yeah, I'ma bust through the door, then I'ma tie you to the bed.
We sunlit, stunning, shining brighter than your summer. Persecuted, gonna never ever die a runner. Defending all the lands, pink, white to black sands. Thinking you the man, disappear for $5,000. Keep my life 100, all them boys steady stunning. Catch you saying something, only deadly repercussions. Think you bulletproof, you ain't tough, you just cute. I'm popping Fruity Loops, adrenaline to the roof. Hold it down for the set, Derby Bird, place a bet. Don't forget, ghost tech, eyes locked, no regrets. I'm a phoenix risen, read it out, been to prison. Talk about beef and I'm weapon ammunition. Fucking politicians, changing rules, keep us under. Trick prison sentences, but still we smoking thunder. Yeah, I'm on an island, silent cell, still silent. Got a lower stage spirit with a tendency of violence. A white boy, certified till I die. Maui boy, get high, let's ride. Me how boy, big eyes, stay fly. Oahu boy, no testify. Alabasco, Olave boy, to Kauai, Kauai, Lanai boy, Molokai, Kai, Aloha boys, till we motherfucking die. 808 gang, 808.
fade them out. Started hella small, barely had a packing dog. Picks up seconds out, I got different packs allowed. Different bracket, hit it fast, huh? Now I'm fucking passing, yo. Trapping to the package gone, off the wall like Ragga. All these bands, I look camouflage and dancing to my hammer song. We ride for this money, we live by that. Riding for this money, yeah. We live by that. I gotta get this money. We live by that. We ride for the money. We live by that.
Cadence.
Let's remember them cold nights. Grandma's house in 05, wintertime, no lights. Candles in the living room, kitchen got no rice. Fridge getting warm and everyone's on ice. Cousins on the floor, everyone pick a spot. Holes in the roof, why I gotta sleep by the pot. All night long, I listen to that water drop. I started catching rhythms, my head start to bop. Once I caught it and started flowing, a gold I ain't hardly know it, but others around me seen it. My greatness has started showing. Spiritual with syllables visually, I started glowing. The game became me because I put my whole heart and soul in. I'm out here and I'm chasing these dreams. Can't stop until I actually see why God told me rapping's for me. The fruit that fell far from the family tree.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Whoa, we beyond the run. To the top, this journey's just begun. Fueled by pride and passion. So get your flags way up high. Show the world how we fly. Get your flags way up high. Get your flags way up.
Yeah, seam up, feel the mana when we team up. One love when we beam up, hit my line, cause this be the screamer. Nothing like they never seen us. Them tell lies, they can't see us. We just do what we must. Do this for you, do this for us. Do this right now so the future knows us. Broken promise, no trust. My people, get your hands up, get up, stand up. One more time, I don't think that they hear us. My people, get your fist up, get up, stand up. Like Uncle Bob taught us. Too much confusion, this revolution. They don't wanna televise, but we know, realize. One time for the bloodline.
We're beyond the run. To the top, this journey's just begun. Fueled by pride and passion. So get your flags way up high. Show the world how you fly. Get your flags way up high. Get your flags way up.
This generation rules the nation. Time's up, we lost our patience. Ultralight beam, but this time it's red, yellow, green. Blame the blood in me. All caps with no ego. You know where I go, my hot A goes. When the wind blows, watch my hot A flow. From the highest peak to the light blue show. A young world, watch and take notes. Cause they don't want you to know until it's too late to do so. Put them high, even if they say no. Get them high, let the whole globe know. I said, put them high, even if they say no. Get them high, let the whole globe know. Cause we know that they don't want us to do so. So let's go.